Welcome to MacroCode. If you're new to this channel, consider subscribing. So today we are going to continue with our Blazor series on students and management. So for those who are watching, please subscribe and like our videos. So just to give a recap on where we were on our previous video. So we have our academics module where we were able to save students, as you can see. Here you can actually create a new student, add a registration number, first name, middle name, last name, email address, phone number, country. This country is actually a drop-down list pulling from systems. So you'll be able to see we have here countries. Then we have the gender, the date of birth, and the student photo. Then on parents, we have parents. So you can actually add new parents, first name, middle name, last name. You select you tie the parent to a student. You also select gender, the parent type, and the date of birth. Then we also have teachers. Here you can add a teacher and provide all these other details. Then you also have subjects. You can add a new subject, provide the subject details, the description, and you can save. So then we have a library where we have books. You can actually add a new book. Then you can capture the book name, the author, the number of copies, and select the book category. Then we have, you can issue book to students. So when you click, so that is books. Then you can return books. Then we have hostels where we are capturing the hostels list. You can see the hostel name, this hostel address, and the hostel description. Then you also have the hostels rooms where you can capture a new room. Then you're able to select the room number, the cost per bed, the number of beds, the room description, and you tie these to the room type and you select the hostel. So then we have the systems where we are capturing the grades, country, system codes. So under system codes, this is where we are capturing we are grouping our options. For example, you see gender. Then the gender, we are also doing the same thing for system code details. So you'll be able to see the male and female. It is of this group type called gender. So these are the options. Instead of coding, we are storing them on our database. So today's video, what are we trying to cover today? So some of you guys have been asking the image issue. So when we were registering our student here, we were capturing the details of the student. Then you are also uploading the name of the photo of that student. So for example, let's just capture one student. Then I'll capture the date of birth here. Then I'll just do, let me just move that. Then I'll choose the photo of the student. So I'm going to copy some of my thumbnails here. Then let me just take this. Then if I click that and click save, then my image should be saved. So just to take you where our image is being saved. So we are saving our image under students. Then you'll be able to see this, the photo that I selected. So these are the images of our students. So if I add a new student, I'll just provide another name, then middle name, then last name, then email address, then the address, then the phone number, then we have the country, the mail, then I'll just put in here the date. Then I'll also select another photo. I'll pick this one. Then if I do that and click save, then our photo should be here. You see this is the next photo. But when you see these photos, they have unique names. So, and the names are the ones being saved to our database. So today, as you can see, we have the edit and the delete button. So I want us to have an option to view these details. So let's just check on our view, on our folder, whether we have an option to view students' details. You can see here we have edit and you have students list. So we can add another as a component. So I'm going to add here another as a component, and I can say student details. So I'll say student details. So after doing that, the details components kind of look the same as edit. So I'm going to copy this edit. So then I'm going to paste it here. So the only difference is that the details page is not editable. So I'll just put here details, but it is expecting the ID for the particular student that you want to view. Then here we'll say student details. So I'm going to retain everything that is there, but one thing that I'm going to do, I want to disable my my input text. So I'll just do here input, then I'll say disabled. So I'll say disabled, then I just do true. So if I do that, I'll disable all the input text, these ones. So I can do that. So I'll also do that. Then I'll also do this. So I'll also do that. Also do this. I'm going to disable that as well. So we'll actually be doing validations for our form. So, and I'm going to remove that. Then for the back button, I'm going to remove this. So let me just remove that. And I can actually have this navigation list. I can say this is href here. Then I'll just do that. Then I'm going to remove this. Then we have our button. Our back button should be okay. Then the next thing is we need to add these navigation options on our students list. So I'm going to go back here. Then after we'll say edit, then delete, then we can have a view. So I'll just provide an option for viewing. Then I'm going to copy one of these and add it here. Then I say here, that is details. Then here I'll say view. So if we do that, I'm going to stop my application and I'm going to run it again. So if you're new to this channel, consider subscribing, comment down below. We are back with this series, guys. So we are not going to leave it where we are. We are proceeding until we ensure that we covered everything. So don't worry, guys. We are still on track. So I'm going to launch our app. Then I'm going to log in. Then you should be able to access now our details page for the student. And I want us to display, you see those images that we have been uploading? I want us to display the images and actually view them. So I log into my app. There we go. I'll go to academics, then under students. You can see I have the view, which is a kind of a red button, but I don't want to maintain that color. So I'm going to have, let's say primary. Then I'll update my, then let's see what color will it have. So if we do that, so let's refresh, wait for it to refresh. There we go. So you see we have now the view button. So I'll take the last student, and if I click view, it should take us to this page. You see this students page that we've just created. We have the registration number, the first name, and the buttons are deactivated. So you see our email address is not. So I want us to deactivate that. So I'll just go to our details. Then I'm going to look for email address here. Then I'm going to deactivate. Then I apply those changes. Then this should be deactivated and no one should be able to update it. You see, it has deactivated. So, and I can also navigate back to list. So what I want us to do is, you remember the image that we uploaded, and this is the image that we've uploaded for the students. So I want us to display these images for those students that have images. One thing that I want us to do is, I want us to have placeholders first. So if we go to list here, you'll be able to see we have the first name, middle name, last name, email, phone number, then the country. I want us to add here a column for image. So I'm going to the list here. Then I'm going to do here, table data. Then I'll say for this table data, I'm expecting an image. Then the source should be that. Then I'll say here photo. So that is the source, and I need to close that. And I can have the style. So I want to have the style. I'll say the width of that photo should be. So I'll just do let's say 90 pixels. Then I'll just do height as well. I'll do another 90 px. So I'll just do 90, then full colon, then 90 px. Then I'll close. So once I do that, I should be able to change to add the table header here, and I'll say student photo. So let me zoom so that you're able to see. I'll say student photo. So once I do that, I can update my changes, and I should be able to have a new column here for student photos. But now it will be empty. You see, it is empty and we don't have any photo. So how are we going to display this? So what I want us to do is when we go to our list, so I want us to go to our list, and I want us to do some things that will enable us to retrieve the photos for the students, and we should be able to view those photos within our app. So the first thing that I want us to do on this list is let's go back to initialization here. And what I want us to do before actually doing anything, I want us to define another method here. So, but even before that, let's go to when adding students, I want us to borrow this, the inject I configuration. So then we go back to our students list, then paste it at the top. So I have it here. So once we have the I configuration, we should be able to access our file. So I want us to have a method that will return for us the image that we want to view. So here I'll say get image. So I'll say get image path, get image path. Then we are expecting this to be string, and we should get the file name. So if we open our database, we should be able to know how our images are being saved on the database. So one thing that I want us to check is how the file names are being saved to our database, so that we should be able to control how we are retrieving them. So let me just access our database. Then we go to the students table. So I'll access there, then I'll go to Blazor, then tables. Then I'm going to students table, select it. Then we should be able to see how that is being done. So if we go to one of these, you'll be able to see it is students \. So I'm going to remove this. We ensure that we just save the photo name. So if we go to add student, I'm going to ensure that we are just saving the relative path here. You see it is taking path combined students, then file name. So I'm going to remove this. So I'll be saving only the file name. So the only thing that will be returned here is the file name. Then I'm going to comment this. So the file path is not being returned. So I'm going to remove to ensure we only save the file name, and this file name is actually a randomized name. You see here, we were generating random names. So the file name is the path.change extension. Then we get a random file name. Then we pass in the file. We get the file extension. Then we save. That's why when you see on our database, our file name are quite unique. So you're able to see that our file name are quite unique. So we don't want to save the file names from the users. So we were saving these strings. So, but in case you want to do that, you can as well do that. So once we are done with that, so I want us to go back to our list. I want us to go back to our students list. Then on our students list, we have now this method called get image path. So under get image path, we are expecting a file name. So that means this file name we should assign when we are looping our students here. We should say student.photo should get our path from, we get path from this method of ours. But this method of ours is expecting a parameter called file name. And we are sure that the student that is saved within our database has a photo name. So we are supplying our photo name and we need to get that photo. So if we do that, so you see here, what is the issue? Cannot convert. So yes, so this one should return a string. So when that returns a string, we are expecting that to be assigned to our student photo. So before doing anything, so on this get method, I want us to do something on this get method. So this get method that we've just defined here, I want us to do a variable image. So let me just put in some code. So I've done a variable here called image string. Then I've declared it to be empty. Then I'm going to say if string dot is null or empty file name, which is our file name here. If it's not empty, then I want to get the path of our image. So I'm going to do path.combine, then config. You remember this config that we have it here. This is the config. I've injected it there. Then within the config, I get the value of string file uploads. Then I'm going to get from a folder called students. And then the file name that we are expecting from our list of students. So after that, I should be able to have the path. So this is the code that I've just added. So this will give us the path of that image. So the next thing that we need to do is I want us to have the bytes. So I'll just say, I'll say variable, then I'll say image bytes equals to, so I'll say file dot read all bytes. Then I'll just read the file from this path. So this will be our path. So this will give me the bytes. So after that, I can actually convert and I can actually assign it to my, so I can say maybe image, I can do another one. I'll say variable image base 64 string. Then I can do is equals to, then I can convert. So I'll say convert to base 64. So I'll convert my image to my bytes to base 64. I'll have it there. Then I should be able to have my image base 64 string. So then I can actually assign this image. You see this empty image here, this variable here, we need to give it a value. So that value for us to view, I want us to assign a string. Then we want to format. I want us to format our image dot base 64. So I'm going to say here, I'll put in some, so I'll just put in here, declare some strings here. So I'll say here data, then I want image, I'll say image, then should be a PNG file. Then this PNG file should be base, so I'll say base 64. Then I'll do that. Then now here is when I am supplying my image base 64. So this is the image. So after doing that, let me minimize this. I should be able to get my image string here. So after doing that, I can now do return. So I'll return so I should return the image string here. So what will happen is if the student doesn't have a photo, then this code will not be executed inside here. So this code will not be executed and we will return the image string. And the image string at this point will be empty. But in case our students has a photo, they will come here, we get the image and we return the image. And this image from this method that we've just seen is we are assigning the student photo a new value. So instead of using the file name, we are assigning it a new value from the get image path. So after doing that, I can actually now close this in in a try catch. So I'll just do that. Then I can come here and do that way. Then I'll say catch. Then I'll do exception. I can do X. Then I'll pass that. Then here I can also return. So I want, in case of an exception, just return null. So I don't want to do anything. So after that, we should now be able to have our image here. But I'll just copy this. So our image source now should be, I think we had added student.photo, and this is the style. So I want us to go back to our folder. Then I want us to copy this image name here. So I'm going to copy this image name. And I want us to display, to go back to our database, and I'm going to update my students, all my students here. I want my students to have photos, so I'll say set photo. So I'll set my photo to this new value, .png. So that is the image that I want to assign. So that is the image. So if I run this, it will update all my students. So those are the columns, those are the records that has been updated. So I'll update my, so if we just scroll, you'll be able to see that my students, they all have the same photo. So if I just now launch our application, we should be able to have a list of photos within our grid. So we'll be able to see list of students with their respective photos within our grid. And one thing that we need to test, you remember, we actually, so you remember one thing that we need to test is, you remember we actually updated our add students. So we removed the folder, but we are saving only the file name. So you'll be able to test that so that you're able to see how that works. So if you're following this channel, consider subscribing, like our video, and comment down below. So let's just, so I'm going to do that. Then I'll say provide my credentials. Then I'll say here. So if I log in, so there we go. So I'm going to academics, then students. And you can see, and our students now, we have the student photo, and we have all these photos for our students. So what happens if we register a new student? I'm going to register a new student, and we attach a different photo. So let's just do that. Then we should be able to see what will happen. So I'll just select that. And here I'll just do that way. Then I'm going to select another photo, this one. Then I'm going to save. So if I save, we expect one list of one student to have a different photo from our list. You see, this is the list of the student that has a different and a unique photo. So I'm also going to add another one with a different photo. So on our next video, we'll be doing stylings in terms of resizing of the photo, and actually trying to do some modifications on the upload if you want to control the size of the photo that you need to upload. So I'm going to upload this. Let me just choose another one. Let me choose that. So I'll try to get also some good photos. So you see, these are the photos. So these are the details. So, but now what happens to our view? So if we click view, what happens? You see, we don't have our photo for the students. So I want us to copy our code here. So you see this method that we've just defined under our list of students here. So I want us to copy this method here. We'll actually be reusing it. So I'll copy it, then go to students details. So I'll go to student details. Then I'm going to paste it here. I'm going to paste it down here. Then as you can see here, we have load student. This will get the student details. So I'm going to say here our student.photo will now be assign a new value, and that should be get that, and we should assign a student.photo here. So if we do that, we should be able to get our student photo. And this student photo, I'm going to have a different, so I'm going to add another section for us to display the photo. So I'll just copy this, have it here, then I'll remove here. Instead of that, I'll say image, then I'll say our source will be at, so we'll be using now this. Our source will be that dot photo. Then I'm going to remove all this. I'll remove all this. Then what I need to change here, I'll also remove this. So I can actually have a style. Then I'll say my style will be the width. So my width will be, I can do 200 px. I can also do height 200. So this will be 200 px. So if I do that, I should be able to see my photo. And I can say here student photo. So if I update my changes, I should be able now to see my photo and the student's details. So let's just wait and see. So let's wait and see. So for those who are new to this channel, consider subscribing. So if you're watching our video, please like our video. We notice 90% of you guys are watching our videos without subscribing. So let's just reload. Yeah, I think there was an issue there. So let's just wait and see. So let's just, yeah, there's an issue. There's an error here. You see this that we copied here, config. We need to borrow our config from our student list. So I'll just do that. I'm going to copy from here, go back to our student details. Then I'm going to import it at the top. So I'm going to have it here. So if we launch our app, we should now be able to view our student photo. So let's just launch our app and see. So there we go. So I'll be able to log into the app. Then we should see the student photo details. So there we go. So I'm going to add my credentials, log into our app. Then I'm going to academics, then students. Then you can see we have our students here. So I'm going to select one of the students. And you can see our photo is not displaying. Why? So let's just come back here. And I want to show you something. Under student details, let's just check what is how our photo is being done here. So if I do this and refresh this, let me see our student here. It has the photo name. Let's just confirm this is the photo name. And if we proceed here, we should check if our get method returns anything. So let me see. We go there. You see we have our image. So our image should be displaying. So this is the data, image, PNG, and that is it. So if we proceed, we should be able to have our photo there. So what I'll do, let me just go back and I'm going to assign. So I'll just go back here and here I'm going to say, so I should actually, let me just do that. I'll remove that. So if we do that, you see our image now displays. So we are now able to see our image. So if we go back to the list, I can view any of these record and you should be able to see our student details. So if I go back to the list, select any of the image here, I should be able to see our student photos. So I think that is it for today's video. If you're new to this channel, consider subscribing. For those who are following, like the video, comment down below, and see you in our next videos. Keep safe. Bye.